Well, good afternoon to our bazillion viewers who've been waiting now, what, 3 or 4 years for a new
It's been 2.5 years.
session, hey, of
Two and a half.
27 minutes with John and Kelly.
Yeah.
Kelly, how are you, my friend?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
Well, I'm great. I'm clearly younger, clearly more
Yeah.
handsome. You know, all those
Tanned.
things that, hey,
Tanned.
tanned. Just came off a recent vacation, the first in, well, since pre-COVID. So
Wow.
that's when we were active. So how you been?
Good. I've been, yeah, busy. I have had a couple vacations since COVID. Um,
Okay.
quite a few, but yeah, I'm in a snowstorm right now. So I'm looking out the window and it's almost like a whiteout out there. It's
Yeah, I
crazy.
know. I know it was over here. Hey, so people are going, what in the hell is 27 minutes? You and I did a ton of podcasting
Yeah.
before COVID, literally in the hundreds, and established some pretty strong assets around West Shore COVID.
Yeah.
27 minutes was really a vehicle to speak to West Shore businesses about who they were, because so many of these companies are not getting their message out. This is a way to tell their story, right?
Mhm.
And we would regularly talk more than 27 minutes, and that was a good gag, wasn't it?
That was fun. I remember we used to do it in person.
I know. And they would be primarily podcasts where, now we're
Yeah.
doing podcasts.
Yeah.
It's so easy to do with Zoom. You could just be anywhere,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. So, and now well, because we had West Shore Business, we had 27 minutes.
Yeah.
West Shore Business became a COVID podcast
Yeah.
uh, where we hosted a bunch of elected officials, most of which who have rode off into the sunset now
Yes.
and left us here.
Yes.
And
Yeah. That's
so
right.
then we started 27 minutes to be the fun podcast where we talk to interesting people and talk about unique things.
Yeah.
And
And we could talk
then
about what we wanted to talk about.
that's right, not COVID.
That's right.
And then we
Hey,
took a 2.5 year break.
we certainly did. It was frankly hard to, even though it's sort of anti what I've been promoting here, it was a little bit tougher to talk to businesses who were really struggling during
Yeah.
that time. That certainly changed, and we are hoping to highlight the stories, the great stories of so many of these companies. So why don't we refresh our bazillion viewers with what you and I are doing? Who is John? Who is Kelly? So I'll start.
Sure.
Clearly, I'm an older individual, and I am.
Older than
I
what?
Hey.
Older than what?
Oh well, I'm older than you, and still do a lot of business consulting. That's what I do. I love it. I have my own company. It's called Harbor Digital Media, and my core skill sets are sales, business development, marketing, communications. So companies do access those skill sets through contracts, and primarily involved these days with digital marketing contracts. Clearly, I can do that. I know how to do that, especially with video, and I love to hear people tell their stories, which these days is the most effective way to market online, is through storytelling using video. I'm also very much, for years, I've been lobbying government on so many business issues, most critical of which is housing, lack of affordable housing, frankly, lack of transportation options for some of our border communities.
Yeah.
And to that end, out of COVID has emerged a serious staff shortage. So I became involved with a company called IMM Recruitment, business development contract, to try to find companies that would be interested in going through the process of bringing foreign workers to Canada. There is no way in our lifetime, especially mine, because I'm a little bit older than you, that we will be able to have enough people to fill all the jobs that Canadian businesses. So that's what I'm doing. I've got 4 kids. They're all in their 30s. I'm a grandfather times 4, as I indicated, or may not have. Maybe 3 years ago I indicated that. So and love doing this with you. You are, I'd say, a close friend that I met maybe 10 years ago. We've seen each other go through all kinds of different things, and I love doing this with you. Bingo, I'm done.
It might be longer than 10 years. I should
really
figure that out. Yeah.
Wow.
It's been a while.
Well, you're a genius a programmer. You're a genius digital marketer. And thirdly, you are a genius web developer. So how do you like them apples?
Wow. Well, I think I've aged out of programming.
Okay, have you?
and I'm fairly aged out of development. However, we're definitely in those same circles as design, marketing, communications, and so my main role really is in business development and digital marketing.
Okay.
About to launch a new website, kellydarwin.com, which will have all the sort of particulars around that. But one thing I'm excited about that I'll allow to hijack my little time here is that sometime in the next, hopefully, month to 2 months, I have an ebook coming out on search engine optimization, which of course falls right into digital marketing. And that's, talk about being older. I started doing SEO before they called it SEO, and so I've documented that, and I've put together basically a playbook for people that want to build their own digital assets and maybe don't want to spend 21 years learning SEO. They can just read the book, get the fundamentals, and then go with their WordPress or their Shopify or their Squarespace, and they can do some basic optimization on their own.
Kelly, that is so exciting. So exciting.
Yeah, so that'll be linked off my site too. It's called SEO, a career-long perspective, and hopefully coming out in the next 60 days.
Oh man, I want to read that book. That is so cool. That's so cool. Hey, listen, so as we're starting here, I think we have a series of businesses that would like to tell their story. Who will we be talking to today?
So yeah, we've had lots of feedback on people wanting to come on and lots of interesting businesses. And who we're talking to today is we're talking with Jessica Young from The Glass Generation.
Yeah.
And it's such a cool story, and I will let Jessica tell the story.
Yeah.
But really encourage people to sort of break out of the podcast medium or the vodcast medium. Go check out her Instagram. Or their Instagram, the Glass Generation, and see what they're making, because it's, we're and this is pandemic. I think not in Jessica's case, but in general, where people learned new skills and they honed in on things that had maybe been forgotten. So older skills, like even if I'll go on a tangent for a sec. You look at things like axe throwing. That never used to be a thing, and for some reason now it's a massive thing again. And so we're seeing lots of stuff like that come out, and craftsmanship and handmade and local and do it yourself is really back in style with a vengeance. And I think that sort of piqued my interest when I first saw Jessica's stuff. And I guess I can give it away as she makes stained glass, but in a really cool way with a really cool story, and we're really excited to have her come on the show.
Yeah, aren't we? I think that's great, and to have for all of our fans and viewers and listeners, we'll be producing and presenting a whole series of companies like this, and I think that is great. Kelly, thank you so much for the update. You know what we need to do right now is we need to Zoom Jessica in. Hey, Jessica, welcome to 27 Minutes with either John and Kelly or Kelly and John, depending who you know better. How you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Oh, fantastic. We haven't done this for a while, Kelly and I. There was
Yeah.
a small thing called COVID that kind of got in the way, but we love hearing stories from businesses in the West Shore. We go all over the place clearly because we have digital access. So Kelly mentioned he knows of you and your business and what you do. You're clearly at it. So,
Yep.
yeah. So why don't you give us a little background of your business and who you are?
So my name's Jessica Young. I started the Glass Generation about 3 years ago now. This is our third year currently. I do it with my dad, Dave Young, and we kind of all kicked this off again 2 years ago, but it started all with my grandpa. He's the one that really kicked up the stained glass. He used to do a bunch of different, meetings.
Hey, I'm a grandpa too. So
Yeah.
we've got great inspiration as grandpas.
Yeah.
Where are you based?
I am based here in Souk, BC.
Okay.
And
Nice.
we run out of our shop here behind me. And we've been doing it ever since in here, and it's slowly starting to grow. So I'm excited to see where it kind of takes it, and hopefully it can grow into maybe a warehouse or a storefront would be ideal, so I can meet
Very
all
cool.
my customers and actually maybe do the glass like in-house and have people to train and do the stained glass and take it to the next level.
Now, for people that are listening to us on a podcast and they can't see the video, Jessica's in her workshop, and we'll share the video link as well, so you can check it out. But some of the pieces, so saying that you don't meet all of your customers, but you do a lot of commission work,
Yes.
and they're on Instagram. Do you know what your Instagram handle is?
Yeah, it's at the Glass Generation, and
Perfect.
that's pretty much it. Pretty easy
So,
to find.
and they're just incredible. Like the way, especially like the animals ones. I'm a dog lover, and I see the pictures of the dogs, and they just look so specific to the dog, which is
They do.
amazing, and that you're able to do that with glass. Like that's just incredible.
Yeah, for me, I personally love being able to take, someone's loved one, whether they have passed away or they love their animal or someone they actually cherish, and be able to transform that into like a memory that will last forever and for them to cherish forever. So I absolutely just love doing that.
And the sentimental ones are one thing, but then there's also a lot of really fun ones.
Yes.
And I've bought a couple of these, and specifically I bought one as a Christmas gift that was a gnome who was had a trench coat on and he was flashing.
Yep.
And that was a Christmas gift. Talk about when you have somebody who's hard to buy for. Stained glass, perfect gift. And he just loved that one. And we have others I've bought in a Valentine's Day one, I think last year, that was a bouquet of flowers. And of course we have a cactus that sits in a pot on our windowsill and with a thing. So there's all different types. Do you have any handy there with you that you
I
can show
actually
us?
brought a few with me.
Awesome.
One of my bigger pieces is this stained glass
Oh, wow.
fish tank. So as you guys can see, it's very iridescent throughout here, and depending where it hits the light, you can see it kind of reflects that light.
It's
Kind of
beautiful.
rainbow.
Wow, that's so great.
Yeah, so this is kind of an idea of some of the custom pieces we do. Obviously, it's a sun catcher, so you can hang this. I would recommend in a window. Another great way to get that kind of iridescent glass to really shine is to hang it on a wall and have the sun directly hitting it, because then you could really see that. Whereas if it was, I don't know if you can see here where you don't really get that effect if it's not like hitting the sunlight directly. So
Yeah.
it's a great piece. It's one of the more larger pieces, but we do a lot of custom. So a lot of clients will come to us and they just want a goldfish, and then I'll take it from there and start designing and planning it all out and coming up with that idea, hand it off to them, and if they like it, then we go ahead with the process of creating all behind the scenes, and yeah.
So Jessica, you're an artist primarily, and your canvas is glass.
Yes, correct.
And so was there a case in the not too distant past where you just drew stuff? Do you have pictures? And I think I see some above there, maybe.
Yeah, these ones are from my grandma. She used to be a photographer, so I did get kind of the artistic background from her. My other grandma, she used to sew, so more of the artistic background from them. And then also all during school, I did professionally, I did some art as well, and I submitted to colleges where I got some awards based off that. So
well, that's really cool. So what role does your dad play in the business?
Yeah, so he's the one that actually kind of not essentially started the business, but after my grandpa passed away, my dad inherited a lot of the tools that my grandpa used to use, a lot of the glass as well. So some of it was very vintage and old and had very sentimental value, which a lot of my clients actually have some of those pieces. So yeah, he started it just as a hobby to kind of take away from his regular job. And then now it's he kind of trained me essentially, and now we're kind of just both in it together. So he does pretty much the same amount of things that I do. He likes really bringing in let's just say wood sculptures and adding wood into the glass. I could give you an example, but using like driftwood as the base and then building the glass up. So he's using different materials or everyday things and just including it into the glass.
Yeah, I'd love to see an example. Did you have one handy?
Yeah, well, I did. He actually built most of this, but this is our logo, but we've made it. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this.
Oh, yeah, I see it. Oh, cool.
So we have the driftwood here, and then this is a metal rod, and we soldered another portion of the metal rod here, and then we took so we made the glass pieces, so they're all triangles, and the smaller one represents myself, the middle one represents my dad, and the bigger one where it starts is my grandpa. So it's going down in a vertical line, and that's the whole reason why we called ourselves the Glass Generation, is because it's passed through generations, and I hope to pass that on again to my family or to other people in the world that want to learn how to do glass, because I feel it's almost like a lost art, and I'm trying to bring it back in a way that's more modern and can be appreciated.
What a great story.
It is.
It's such just how it runs through the family like that. You just don't hear that very often anymore, and it's great to hear.
So, if somebody wants to now get a hold of you, somebody wants to commission a sale, of which I suspect there will be multi-millions of people.
Oh, based on our viewership, yeah.
Totally, right?
Love it.
Right. So Jessica, this is like Kelly was saying, what an amazing story. And clearly, after the millions of viewers that watch 27 minutes, say, hey, I want to get some of your art, or at least commission some custom art. How do they get a hold of you? Like phone number, online platforms, that sort of thing, email?
So you can give me a follow on Instagram, so at the Glass Generation.
Cool.
And on Facebook, at the Glass Generation. And then we also have an email as well if you're not on any of those platforms. Again, it's at the Glass Generation at gmail.com.
Well, that I think wow, what a neat story.
Thank you.
And definitely check out the Instagram because there's lots of pictures up there and they're just fantastic. It's such a cool art form.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I gotta say, so and this is something like Jessica was saying is not it's a skill that maybe is not as prevalent as it used to be, right? But I certainly, now that I have some pieces, I notice it wherever I go. And I was in Mexico City a few months ago in this church that was, who knows, hundreds and hundreds of years old, and I found myself taking pictures of all the stained glass in the place as opposed to all the other stuff, because it just stands out, and that the workmanship and what goes into it, now that I know a little bit about it, is quite impressive.